far as I'm aware, the president says he's still under audit. And he says he's going to release.
All right, that's what happened when you are Senator Tom Cotton and you're moved for defending Donald Trump over not releasing his tax returns. Audiences will hear little of it. This is the New York Times is saying because the president has delayed releasing those tax forms, we're not seeing tax reform, period. That seems to be a bit of a stretch. With conservative commentator Gina Loudon with us, Democratic strategist Atima Omara. Atima, what do you think of that? That the president not releasing his tax returns is what's produced this delay in tax reform?
I don't know. Well, okay, it has actually produced a bit of a delay in the tax reform because I know that Democrats and even some Republicans increasingly are saying that, all right, look, like, we need to know where your financial interests are, your conflict of interests are, just so we know that you, based off of history, aren't going to use a tax reform package to benefit yourself. We want some transparency. So, you know, we're not interested in the platonic ideal of transparency for transparency's sake, but really to understand here how he could potentially benefit from a tax reform package that he proposes.
You know, Gina, I'm arguing even if that were the case, and maybe among some Democrats it is, it can't explain Republicans and their inability to get this done.
Yeah, well, I think that they will get it done, Neil. And let's not forget, we are still here within the first 100 days, and a lot has gotten done. You know, we can't forget that.
I'm not dismissing that, Gina, but they're already saying the August deadline looks dicey. So that's getting pushed back. I just wonder, like, if the problem is more Republicans who can't get their act together.
No, I have all confidence that we will absolutely have tax reform. President Trump is not going to stand by and let that not happen. I just know this will happen. And I think that he's already demonstrated that he can use leverage and get the things done, things beyond what most of his voters even expected initially with him. And let's not forget on this whole must show the tax returns thing that we did see. One of his tax returns, Rachel Maddow did that, and it didn't go over so well. It actually showed that he paid extra taxes and that he is extra diligent. And so I don't think most people are as concerned about that. I don't think most people are as concerned about that as they are about the tax cuts that he has proposed, the corporate tax cuts, the personal tax cuts. It's going to be a lot better for Americans once. Well,
you might be right, Gina, but of course that tax year in particular was the benefit of the alternative minimum tax. If we didn't have that already there, he probably would not have paid as much. But your point is well taken. Atima, what I'm asking you, though, is where does this go? If Democrats are open to tax cuts, is it that they're limiting it to the middle class, they're limiting it to maybe having the corporate rate and only for some corporations, but where? Where would the flexibility be shown on the part of Democrats? Because I think this is a canard, this idea that the president's refusal to hand over his taxes is the reason why nothing is getting done. I just think in their heart of hearts, they just don't believe in it. But educate me.
Well, I would disagree with that. I just want to respond to, Gina's point and simply saying that, well, there was a 1040 release, which only gives a certain portion of his taxes and financial interest, and is only a first step. To your point, Neil, I really wanted to say that the Democrats are interested in tax reform. We have been the biggest champion of middle-class tax cuts, and knowing that certainly folks who make up the majority of the American economy getting dollars back from what they've earned is the great way to sort of, as a big part of, not the only way, to get the economy going. So, having an actual dialogue will be key, but Trump here specifically, it looks like he's going to go down a partisan road, and like as to your point, it doesn't look like he's gonna get it together, quite honestly.
Well, but I think both sides are playing that game. Gina, one of the things that I have noticed in Texas, whether you're left or right, conservative or liberal on this, the most effective have been those enacted under Democratic and Republican presidents alike that have had everyone in the mix, whether you're looking at JFK or Ronald Reagan. And when we pick and choose who gets them, we usually pick and choose the paltry response we get from them. That's just an opinion of mine, but I'm just wondering if Republicans don't spearhead an effort for sweeping across-the-board tax reform, they might as well not even try.
I agree. It should be sweeping in across the board. But I don't think that redistributionalism that the Democrats tend to get so stuck on so often is productive at all, Neil. I mean, I don't see how you laugh at that. That is you
that
want
is
to
not the majority of Trump voters. The majority.
I'm not saying you specifically, but I am saying Democrats. I didn't interrupt you. I am saying that Democrats often want to divide everybody up into little voting blocks, if we get right down to it, and give favors to those that they think will vote for them. That doesn't work, Neil. You're absolutely right. This needs to be sweeping. This needs to be across the board. This needs to be for everyone, because we all know that when business is flourishing and thriving and the free market is ruling the roost here, then we all benefit from that up and down, and everybody has a chance to compete in that, rather than it being more like some sort of
Atima, quick reaction to that.
Yeah, just simply saying Republicans have only been interested in making sure tax cuts are for the 1% and never for the middle class. And most of Trump's voters have Trump's vote. It is absolutely true. When most of Trump's voters have been people in the past who have voted for economic adjustment policies that benefit
for everybody, when JFK cut them for everybody, do those materialize after his assassination?
Most of the people who are benefiting from the health care plan and absolutely from like tax benefits for middle class are people who voted for Trump. We know that. We know we increased that electorate by taking some of those folks who had voted for Democrats in the past.
Is it fair to say that when everybody's given a tax vote, you got more bang for the buck?
Yeah, I would think so, especially for those who make less.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Guys, thank you both very, very much.